Hello, welcome to my channel on how to be a mom. So I'm making my first video driving, of course, because I got things to do, really. But I'm not really dressed for the day. I know if you don't start, just start, you'll never start. So if I waited till my hair was done, makeup was on, all that stuff, it wouldn't even be real. And it wouldn't be me, because this is how I am all the time, right? But this channel is not to teach you per se. I'm not the scout of how to be a mom. I'm just letting you guys in on how I parent and what I do as a mother, and I'm gonna try to do it on a daily basis. Don't quote me on that, but I'm gonna just show a lot of people like what I do as a parent, because I feel like what made me start this channel is that I do a lot of things outside of the box of how I was raised, and a lot of the things that was downloaded from God to me on my parenting skills, they work. They really work. And I have some beautiful children. I'm gonna let you guys meet them officially, maybe on the next video or something like that. I'm gonna tell you about them before I let you guys meet them, because I have to warn you about one of them. Yeah, but I just want to like give you guys pointers, tips, and things. And you know, like moms have like parent secrets, like different things that they do, like how they shop for groceries, or where they go to find school clothes, or you know, study tactics and stuff, like how they get their children to listen, how they get their children to do certain things. So we all have our own ways. So I just wanted to share with you guys what I do in my personal parenting life. So I named the channel How to Be a Mom to Be Fun. And also I know that it's an eye catcher when people read the titles of pages and things like that. And I thought people would be curious to see what I say. And I know I'm going to get a lot of people on here in the future that don't agree with some of the things I do, because I deal with that every day. I deal with it mostly from family and friends telling me how to be a mom, right? And most of them is so funny, and I know you guys can relate. A lot of people that tell me how to be a mom isn't a mom. The majority of people who commenting, the majority of the people that commenting, I keep saying that, the majority of the people who comment on my parenting are people who don't have children. And their favorite line that they always say to me is, "This is how I was raised." But this is the thing, and a lot of you millennial moms can understand where I'm coming from when I say this. We learned that the way we were raised, everything we were taught isn't the right way. Everything our parents were taught isn't the right way. Everything their parents were taught isn't the right way. Because what I learned in just the black culture, a lot of our stuff was handed down from slavery, like whoopings and stuff like that, and do as I say, don't ask questions. Like that is a slavery mentality that we had developed over years. And because we're so many years away from where it started, we don't believe that it came from there, but it did. And I went a different route. And I tell people all the time, because sometimes you have to just, I love to say this, I use Jesus' way of teaching people. Like Jesus don't necessarily tell you what to do. He asks you questions to make you think, so you could come up with your own way, which is always the way he wants you to be anyway. So that's what I do. I ask people a question, like, for instance, when they say stuff about my parenting, I ask them a question. I say, do you see other children in the world, right? Even children that's in the family, or children of our friends or something like that. And not to like be mean or like anything like that. I'm not trying to be shady or anything, just being real. And I say, look at their kids and look at my children. Look at the behavior of their children and the grades of their children, and look at my children, and then tell me, am I doing something wrong? They don't even see the results. They just see the action of, and they think that it's gonna cause a bad result in the future. But to me, I learned that that's not the truth, right? And a lot of it I learned from just being rebellious as a teenager myself, because it's like things I would watch my mom do or say things and I wouldn't agree with it as a child. So I couldn't wait to become well, I ain't gonna say I couldn't wait to become a mom, but I became a mom and I remembered those things and I applied what I felt I would did as a parent to my children, and a lot of times it worked. A lot of things that I tried didn't work because we all trial and error. We don't have like a blueprint for being the best mom in the world, but I do feel like a lot of people aren't great parents because they don't know how to be, and because they're following a blueprint from our ancestors that need to be broken. So a lot of those bad habits or bad ways of living and learning, they have to be broken. And I see a lot of people in our generation that's doing that. We're going against the grain, right? And I'm one of those people. And it's so crazy because I was just thinking this morning how I don't like consistent. I like routine, right? But I don't like the same routine every day. So I'm like the type of person who plans for the next day or the next day and the next day, and I know what I'm going to do all week, but I'm not going to do the same thing repetitively all week. And it came from a trauma, actually, because I was traumatized by doing the same thing over and over for many years, like getting up at the same time every morning, getting in the shower every morning. So I switched up routines and stuff with my children when they get up for school and I get them off to school, stuff like that. Another thing I do a little different is I became self-employed because I remember as a child, like I always wanted my mom to show up for certain events and things at school, and she couldn't because she couldn't get the time off work. So I always strive to, like, even when I struggle, like I just still strive to be self-employed because it frees up time for me to be there for my children. And I'm telling you from just experience, the more you show for your children, and it may not look like it to the outside world, but the more you show up for your children, it's like what is it called? One of the 5 love languages is acts of service, or like somewhere along the lines of that. I don't know why I'm tongue tied today. I think it's because I'm sleepy. But yeah, so a lot of it, show it for your children as much as you can. Like if you have the days, the PTOs and all that stuff, show up for your children, because one thing we do as teenagers, and our teenagers are doing it, we don't talk about the things that bother us that much, right? We observe and we keep quiet because I don't know why we think our parents are magicians and they're supposed to just read our minds, but we pretty much all think like that. And I have a teenager that thinks like that. So I laugh a lot at the things he do because I always tell him, like, I used to do that to my mom. I used to do that to my mom. I used to do that to my mom. So, but my oldest, my 2 children are 8 years apart, right? I have a 16-year-old and I have a 7-year-old. But my oldest gives me a lot of issues in certain ways, little stuff, because I did start off with him the way I was raised. About like a lot of things I did the same as my parent. So, and my mom got it from her mother, and they got it from my great-grandmother, and so forth. But it was with him I started to realize it wasn't working, and I started changing things up. It was with my oldest. But some stuff, he's just still a teenager. He does things that normal teenagers do. But I see a difference in my youngest, right? Because I switched up completely with the parenting. And my oldest would say all the time, if you have children years apart, you know what I'm talking about. You didn't do it like that with me. You didn't do it like that with me. And it was the same with my mom and my mom raising me and my little sister. Like, I would say that to my mom all the time, or think it. Like, dang, she didn't do that with me. Like, why is she so lenient with her? And it's like when you have a second child, you learn more. You see what you did wrong, or maybe you just want to try something different, and 9 times out of 10 when you try something new, it works. Sorry, but the oldest kids, we get the end of the stick. So yeah, so I'm gonna like get on here. I'm sorry my eyes look like that. I'm so sleepy, and it's pretty warm outside, and I have a sweater on because of course I had a tank top and it just wasn't appropriate for the video. But I'm really sleepy, this is like I go home and rest for a little while in between like doing what I have to do. So I'm gonna get on here and give you guys a lot of my like parenting secrets, parenting tips, and experience. I'm gonna have to get permission from my oldest, of course, but share like situations we've been through and tell you how I got through them, because some stuff, you know, is unavoidable. It's just unavoidable, and I just want to share my testimonies with you guys, because I know how it feels to feel like you're the only one that's going through something, or changing is hard when everybody is the same way. So going against the current, going against the grain, it's hard to be the one different. And then a lot of people will keep putting their expectations on you, or just anything that they know or learned or believe on you, and it's hard to go against that, because eventually sometimes you'll just give up. But I'm here to tell you, like, don't give up. Don't give up. Whatever you feel in your heart and your soul and your spirit, you are your children's parent. God trusted you with your children. God gave that assignment to you, right? So there it is. I'll be back on here soon, maybe today, I don't know, depends on if something comes to me that I want to share, and I'll get back on here. So I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Brittany. I go by Kanika more on some of my social sites. That's my God-given name, but my name is Brittany, and I'll be back on here shortly. I mean soon, not shortly, but soon.